This exercise is great if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling anxious, or maybe even panicked. It's a sensory grounding activity that you can do wherever you are, and the aim of it is to connect you to the present moment and to connect you to your senses. So the first part of the exercise is to look around and to find 5 things that you can see. It could really be anything. For example, I see a green wall, or I see a lamp. So take a moment to look around and identify 5 things that you can see. And when you've done that, feel free to pause, look around, and then come back. And we're going to move on to 4 things that you can feel. And those 4 things can be things inside your body, for example, a gurgling stomach. It might even be aches and niggles, but it can also be outside of your body, for example, the fabric on your body, or maybe the ground under your feet. So take a couple of moments, feel free to pause, and just notice 4 things that you can feel. And with all of these, it can sometimes be quite helpful to just name it for yourself, like I've been doing. Next, we're going to move on to 3 things that you can hear. And sometimes it's easier to close your eyes so you can really connect to that sense. Naming whatever it is that you hear. For example, I hear an airplane overhead. And again, once you've identified 3 things, feel free to pause if you haven't yet, but if you have, we'll move on to 2 things that you can smell. And again, feel free to close your eyes while you connect to that sense of smell. Taking a moment to notice smells. And if you're struggling to identify a smell right now, maybe use your memory and remember a smell that you've smelled recently. And when you've done that, when you've identified and named 2 things, we're going to move on to taste, the final sense. Taking a moment to notice 1 thing that you can taste right now. It might be a meal you've had recently, or maybe a piece of chewing gum. If you're struggling to identify something that you can taste, maybe think back again in your memory and notice something that you've tasted recently. And when you've identified and named 1 thing that you can taste, we're just going to take 1 deep breath, or a couple deep breaths if you'd like, before finishing this exercise.